Jai Gurudev, Namaste Gurudev. It is a profound honor to have this conversation with you today about the Astavakra Gita. This ancient scripture offers deep insights into self realization and the nature of reality. To start with, could you please share the essence of the Astavakra Gita? Namaste, Jai Gurudev. The Astavakra Gita is a dialogue between the sage Astavakra and King Janaka. Its essence lies in its direct and profound teachings on self awareness, the illusory nature of the world, and the importance of inner freedom. It transcends conventional moralistic teachings and dives straight into the nature of the self. You often speak about different types of knowledge. How does the Ashtavakra Gita differentiate between intellectual understanding and experiential knowledge? The Ashtavakra Gita emphasizes that intellectual knowledge, which we gain through reading, thinking, and analyzing, is limited. It is like knowing about a fruit by reading about it, but never tasting it. Experiential knowledge, on the other hand, is like tasting the fruit. It comes from direct experience and internalization. The Gita tells us that words and concepts are mere pointers, not the destination. Real understanding happens when the knowledge sprouts within us, much like a seed growing into a tree. Could you elaborate on how the teachings of Astavakra influenced King Janaka's realization? King Janaka was already well versed in spiritual practices and scriptures. However, a brief encounter with Astavakra profoundly transformed him. The sage's words were not just intellectual concepts, they were living truths that awakened a deep realization in Janaka. The teachings helped Janaka see beyond the mind's constructs and experience his true natural nature directly, leading to a profound inner transformation. You mentioned that often people understand teachings conceptually but realize their depth much later. Can you give an example of this process from the Ashtavakra Gita? Absolutely. Many people hear the teaching, live in the moment repeatedly, but it may take years before they truly grasp its significance. Initially, it is just a phrase, but with persistent practice and a deepening of consciousness, the meaning unfolds in a way that transforms one's perception and experience of life. Similarly, in the Ashtavakra Gita, when Ashtavakra says that the self is beyond body and mind, it might initially seem like a concept. Over time, with contemplation and inner silence, this realization dawns, transforming one's sense of identity. The concept of inner emptiness or hollowness is often mentioned. How does the Ashtavakra Gita describe this, and how should one approach it? The Gita talks about the nature of the self as being empty, like a hollow bamboo. This emptiness is not about void or nothingness. It is about being free from conflicts, desires, and dualities. It is a state of pure consciousness, untainted by the fluctuations of the mind. To approach this, one must let go of the constant need to grasp or reject experiences and instead remain a witness, allowing things to come and go without attachment or aversion. What role does the mind play according to Ashtavakra Gita, and how can one transcend its conflicts? The mind is the source of all conflicts, constantly oscillating between likes and dislikes, attachments and aversions. The Ashtavakra Gita teaches us to observe these fluctuations without getting entangled. By recognizing that the mind's nature is to create conflicts and that the true self is beyond the mind, one can gradually transcend these internal battles. The key is to embrace everything with equanimity, realizing the ephemeral nature of mental phenomenon. In terms of practical application, how can one integrate the teachings of the Ashtavakra Gita in daily life? Integrating the Ashtavakra Gita's teachings involves a shift in perspective. One must practice mindfulness and dispassion, seeing the transient nature of worldly experiences. This means cultivating an attitude of witnessing rather than reacting. By repeatedly bringing the mind back to the present moment and observing its play without judgment, one gradually stabilizes in the knowledge of the self as pure awareness. How does the Gita's perspective on pleasure and pain influence our approach to life's experiences? The Ashtavakra Gita advises us to see pleasure and pain as two sides of the same coin. Both are transient and ultimately empty. When one understands this, neither pleasure can elate nor pain can depress the person deeply. This perspective helps in maintaining equanimity and facing life's ups and downs with a sense of balance and detachment. Lastly, what message from the Ashtavakra Gita would you like to leave for those seeking spiritual growth? The core message of the Ashtavakra Gita is to realize one's true nature as pure, unattached consciousness. Recognize that you are not the body, mind, or emotions, but the eternal witness. By living this realization, one transcends suffering and finds true peace. Embrace every moment as it is, without clinging or rejecting, and let the wisdom of the Gita guide you to inner freedom. Thank you so much, Gurudev, for sharing these profound insights on the Ashtavakra Gita. Your words will surely inspire many on their spiritual journey. My pleasure. May everyone experience the true essence of the self and live in peace and joy. Namaste, Jai Gurudev.